Had to shut down because I got jumped in a fight and broke my arm. Oh man, that's rough. You doing okay now? Chunbok sighed and lifted his cast. I got some chi therapy and it actually worked. Without that healer, I would still be stuck rotting in a hospital bed. Jun Su looked shocked. Wait, there's a chi therapist in this place? Yep, exactly. Want an introduction? He is seriously top tier. Jun Su smiled. I would love that, but first I really gotta grab some gear. Ah, sure thing. Take your time. We have got everything you need, and even some things you don't. Junu didn't even glance at the junk on the shelves. He looked Chun Bok in the eye, tapped his foot, and gave a cheeky grin. The stuff up here is cool, but can I see the real goods downstairs? Chun Bok looked stunned. How did you find out? Jun Su just smirked. I have my ways. He thought, don't sleep on a pro gamer with 10,000 hours under my belt. There isn't a secret I haven't found. Chun Bok didn't even argue. He led Jun Su down to a basement room, checking over his shoulder before opening the door. I never show this to new guys, but for a hero, I am making an exception. Jun Su grinned. Thanks, man. The door swings open and Chun Bok leads Jun Su into his secret stash. Check out my collection of magic gear, he says happily. Awesome. Jun Su starts geeking out, rushing from one legendary item to the next. He finally stops at the flute of the ancient god. He grabs it with both hands, heart racing with pure hype. I had some sick items back in my pro gamer days, he thinks. But the ultimate prize was always this flute. It hides the secret mana cultivation technique. This right here is the literal jackpot of the game. Now that I scored this top-tier loot, it is time to make moves. A few minutes later, the two head back to the main shop. Jun Su drops the ancient flute and a bunch of other gear onto the counter to check out. I am taking these today. Chun Bok scans the pile and nods in total respect, just as he expected. You have a killer eye, a 5-colored diamond, a spellbook, magic gauntlets, and the flute. All of these are crazy rare drops. Then he drops the price. 2 billion gold. Jun Su nearly chokes. Holy crap, 2 billion? Seeing him freak out, Chun Bok laughs. Relax. That is the price for total strangers. Since you are the market's hero, I will hook you up for 500 million. Jun Su exhales. Chun Bok, man, you almost gave me a heart attack. After paying him, Jun Su grabs his loot. Chun Bok wraps everything up carefully. An 80% discount just for having high affinity with an NPC? Hell yeah. Next step is finding a priest-class superhuman to unseal this. Luckily, I already know exactly where to find the perfect guy for the job. Smiling at the shopkeeper, Jun Su asks, Hey, by the way, can I get the address for that chi therapist? Later that day, Jun Su tracks down the address and finds a quiet house. He bangs on the door and yells out, Yo, anyone home? Total silence. Jun Su presses his ear against the door. Looks like he is out, he mutters to himself. Right at that exact moment, the door flies open. A young guy sticks his head out, looking annoyed. What do you want so early in the morning? White hair, pale skin. Jun Su just stares. Found him. This is definitely the guy. Jun Su gives him a cheeky grin. Early? Bro, it is literally the middle of the afternoon. To me, it is early, the guy snaps. What are you here for? Jun Su scratches his head, playing it cool. Well, I heard your medical treatments are top-notch. Hearing that, the guy instantly softens up and starts acting all friendly and warm toward him. Oh, a customer? My bad, I thought you were another thug. Please, come on in. He leads Jun Su inside and points toward a small bed. You can lie down here. So, what seems to be the problem today? Jun Su stays quiet. He scans the room until he spots a specific statue. That confirms it. It is definitely who I think it is. Since the statue is here, it is definitely him. The guy asks, What are you doing? Just hop on the bed and relax. Only then does Jun Su turn back around to face the man. He pulls out the ancient flute and says, Look, I did not actually come for a checkup. I need you to unseal this item. The guy waves him off. Unseal that? I am just a therapist, man. That looks like a high-level holy seal. Go hit up a temple. Jun Su shakes his head. Those places charge a fortune, and they would probably just steal my gear. He dumps a bag full of cash on the table right in front of the young man. Unseal this and you get 100 million. Right, Priest Kim? The guy jumps. How do you know my name? Jun Su just smirks. Lucky guess. In his head, he knows Priest Kim is the legendary third guide character. He is a priest for a forgotten religion, serving a god that vanished 3,000 years ago, one of the only truly good guys in this game. Most priests are totally corrupt, so finding one with a heart of gold like this is a miracle. Basically, he is the perfect person to exploit. Priest Kim stammers, How? How do you know about my past? Jun Su holds the flute out toward him. I will keep your secret, but you have to do me this one favor. Priest Kim sighs and takes the flute. This is not going to be easy, but fine. I will see what I can do. Predictable. Such a nice guy. After that, the two of them sit on the floor together with the ancient flute placed right in front of them. Getting serious, Priest Kim reaches out and starts channeling his energy toward the flute to break the powerful seal. Almost immediately, the paper wrapping around it starts to peel back and loosen. It is working, Kim whispers. He keeps focusing, pouring his mana steadily into the ancient artifact to finish the job. The paper seal is practically falling off at this point. Finally, the paper drops away, revealing a flute glowing with a blinding golden light. The legendary flute of the ancient god is finally free. You can actually snag the Inhera cultivation trait, Priest Kim gasped. Wait, did it really work? Jun Su gave him props. Exactly what I expected. Your skills are straight fire. Seeing the ancient god's flute in action, Priest Kim flipped. Holy crap, is this a mana cultivation technique? Jun Su just grinned and said, You bet it is. Appreciate it. He pressed the ancient flute to his lips and let out a sharp note. As the flute's melody echoed, Jun Su felt every bit of wasted mana in his body finally being sucked back in. System alert. You have obtained the Inhera cultivation trait. Jun Su smirked to himself. This effect is absolutely insane. It feels like the chill waves of the North Sea are rushing through my veins. 2 weeks and I'll soak up all this mana to hit level 3 superhuman. Standing nearby, Priest Kim clapped his hands and cheered. I have never seen a warrior-class superhuman pull off a mana cultivation technique like that. Jun Su headed to the bed, sat down, and shrugged. Yeah, well, it's not exactly a common sight. Priest Kim noticed his fatigue. You look beat. Just crash here and get some rest. Jun Su didn't argue. He flopped onto the mattress and sighed. My brain is fried from all this info. I'm totally spent. I'm in your hands for now. Priest Kim smiled back. Of course, go ahead and get comfortable. For what you're paying, you can stay as long as you want. Jun Su mumbled back. Appreciate it. He thought, he's a decent guy, just like in the game. Having a priest I can actually trust is going to pay off big time later. So, totally unguarded, Jun Su passed out cold until a weird scratching sound woke him up in the dead of night. He sat up groggy, scratching his head. What's that noise? Then Jun Su spotted Priest Kim holding a can of gasoline, pouring it all over the bag of cash he'd brought along. He snapped awake and spoke with pure suspicion. What are you doing? Priest Kim didn't say a word. His eyes were empty and lifeless as he stood over the gas-soaked bag of money and flicked a lighter. Oh, forgotten God, accept this offering from a believer and be reborn. With the prayer finished, Priest Kim let go, and the lighter tumbled straight toward that mountain of cash. Jun Su lost his mind. What the hell is this? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Are you crazy? Jun Su dived forward, grabbed the lighter, and shoved Priest Kim out of the way. What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? What were you even trying to offer up here? I have to burn all my money and teeth for the god. Priest Kim yelled, sounding annoyed. Jun Su just stared at him blankly. Wait, the money is the offering? Our god only takes cold, hard cash. It's the only way to get power, the priest explained. Jun Su realized the truth instantly. Oh, I get it. This is from that phase where you actually fell for all that religious junk, right? Now the priest looked confused. What are you even saying? The god Priest Kim worshipped had actually been dead for 3,000 years. In the game, this religion was trash, until Priest Kim brought the god back and cracked the training code. Seriously, I can't believe this dude doesn't even know the right way to worship his own deity. Thinking fast, Jun Su offered some tips. You're doing this all wrong. You're not supposed to just torch your cash. You've got to burn and vaporize real gold. Priest Kim stared at him, full of doubt. That sounds like straight-up heresy, but you've never actually tried it, right? Priest Kim scoffed. Give me a break. My church has done this for thousands of years. Well, there's a reason your god hasn't shown up yet, don't you think? The priest was totally speechless. It's hard to burn gold right now, so I've got a better idea. Since you helped me with that mana training, let me do you a solid, Father. A moment later, Priest Kim stared at the bubbling yellow liquid on the stove and said nervously, I really don't think I should be doing this. Let's just stop. Jun Su poured the gold into a cup and handed it over. Trust me. Drink this gold and your divine power will go through the roof. Just focus and see if your god answers. Fine, if you're that sure, I'll trust you this one time. After saying that, Priest Kim slammed the entire cup of golden liquid Jun Su gave him. Only a few seconds later, he felt a huge change. His entire body was suddenly wrapped in a blinding golden aura. Holy crap, this is actually real. This is way better than burning millions of one. Jun Su grinned. Your growth is going to be insane if you stick with this method. Priest Kim looked at Jun Su with sparkling eyes. I honestly don't know how I can ever thank you for this incredible information. Oh, right. Here, take this. With a grateful look, Priest Kim handed Jun Su a strange necklace. This necklace? Jun Su asked, faking surprise even though he already knew exactly what the item was. It is a holy relic with healing powers. I think my god would love to know you have this. Well, if you are offering, I can't say no, Kim Junu said, acting shy, but inside he was totally losing his mind with excitement. This loot is better than I imagined. Come to think of it, Priest Kim's church actually offers some really sick quests. So Kim Junu suggested something. Priest, would you mind if I said a quick prayer to your god? 1 week later. Please stop. I feel like my whole body is turning into solid gold. Priest Kim gagged, trying not to puke after chugging the bottles of golden liquid Kim Junu had cooked up. But you gotta drink more, Kim Junu said, bringing over 12 more bottles, making Priest Kim scream in absolute horror. I will get mana poisoning if I level up this fast. Chill out. I promise you will be fine. Just keep praying. Kim Junu forced the priest's mouth open and dumped the gold liquid down, smirking the whole time. No worries. The 4 guide characters each have their own unique traits. While warriors are tanks, priests are immune to mana poisoning, so they can level up like absolute beasts. Exactly as planned. After the forced feeding, Priest Kim hit level 3 and officially became Bishop Kim. He stared at his glowing skin in shock. Level 3 already. At this rate, I might even become an apostle. Sweet. It won't be long until you're a total apostle for your god, Kim Junu said, feeling pretty proud. Priest Kim acted humble. I am not worthy. Honestly, I think you have enough experience to be one already. Look, now that you're level 3, you need a regional council to be recognized as a real bishop. You're right, I have to. I only grew this fast because of you. Thank you so much. I'll never forget your help, Priest Kim said. No big deal, don't even worry about it. I just love helping out, Kim Junu replied, though he was really thinking. Yeah, you better not forget, pal. Become a bishop fast and bring me those holy relics from the vault. By the way, one more favor. I'm calling a council, but I'm nervous to go alone. Will you be my bodyguard for the big meeting? The other bishops will be there. Kim Junu agreed instantly. The next day, the priest led Kim Junu to the meeting. When the others saw his level, they showered him with praise, making him glow. This turnout is pretty weak with just these guys here. Just as Kim Junu felt let down, a voice cut through the room. What a pathetic little sight. An old bishop walked in with masked followers. Everyone turned to look as the old man entered with his squad. Bishop, you're here. The old man roared back. Who gave you permission to call a regional council? Priest Kim. Priest Kim spoke up quietly. But every priest has the right to call for a council meeting. That's for normal priests, not heretics like you. You hit level 3 in just 3 months. No way you could level up that fast using normal methods. Impossible. You must have used dark magic for that power. No way. I just found a better way to level. Ignoring him, the bishop ordered his men to grab him. Before they could move, Kim Junu stepped in their way. Whoa, take it easy. Don't scare the kid. One follower asked, Who the hell are you? Just his bodyguard? Kim Junu grinned. This is church business. Outsiders need to butt out. The bishop snapped. I'm his bodyguard, so it is my business. Start making some sense, you old geezer. While the bishop fumed, the innocent priest kept trying to explain the whole thing. After hearing the story, the bishop screamed in a rage. You've been drinking gold, you heretic. How dare you commit such a sin? It's not heresy. Our God allowed it. Shut up, you traitor. I will purify you myself. Prepare to burn in the eternal flames for your sins. The bishop shot a fireball at Priest Kim, but Kim Junu was standing right there ready for it. Kim Junu blocked the blast with a shield. Whoa. Attacking without warning? That's some serious blasphemy, old man. The old bishop looked stunned. You blocked my magic? Kim Junu snapped back. You really want to attack a future apostle? Don't be stupid. No heretic becomes an apostle. Terrified by the rage, the priest grabbed Kim Junu. Hey, superhero, why are you calling me that? Relax. Here, eat this and pray. Kim Junu then handed the priest a small golden orb. Meanwhile, the old bishop was hitting his limit and started pressing Jun Su. Get the hell out of the way unless you want to be fried to a crisp. What if I prove he is an apostle? Jun Su smirked, just waiting for the fireworks to start. Wait, what? Before the old bishop could react, a glowing aura surrounded Priest Kim as he prayed. An apostle's light, the old man choked out. Jun Su watched the old man's face turn white and loved every second. Look close. Shocking, right? This is why I did not make him an apostle yesterday. That old geyser is useless. Plus, he is a total villain. Honestly, I should just finish him off right now. To awaken his apostle trait, Priest Kim had to swallow a golden relic from another cult while being framed for blasphemy by a bishop. Making him an apostle ended up being pretty easy. Once the transformation finished, Jun Su pulled his blade and spoke coldly. Time to give you fake believers a lesson. Jun Su tilted his head and looked at Priest Kim. Hey, priest, mind if I ask your god a quick question? How should we punish these losers who betray their own people because they are just petty and jealous? And it is not just this. He has done plenty of other evil stuff too. Hearing this, the old priest panicked. How did you know? Priest Kim checked in with his god and gave the answer. He says it is time to clean house. Those are my god's words. So, I have no choice but to follow them, right? In a flash, Jun Su rushed the old priest and killed him, just taking out the trash before he can cause any more drama. Jun Su smirked to himself. But Priest Kim, being a good soul, actually felt a little bit of pity for him. But he was still one of our bishops. Jun Su just waved him off. Forget it, he got exactly what he deserved. So what does your god want now? He says to head to the Levant region and offer up some gold at the First Council. See, I told you the gold was a smart move. Go there and start building your empire. Jun Su laughed, thinking to himself that the guy better pay him back for all this help when he is famous. Priest Kim did not wait long to show his thanks. He handed over several rare items from his secret stash. Among the loot were two things he really wanted. Finally, I have got my first holy sword. This blade is worth 1 billion. And this holy statue? It is practically vibrating with pure power. The Sanctuary of Holy Power is a skill that creates a safe zone anywhere. If an enemy walks in, it blasts them back or shuts them down. Basically, I do not have to worry about getting jumped while I am leveling up anymore. Time to test out these new toys. Cut to Jun Su shivering in a bathtub, looking like he went through hell. Maybe I went a little too hard. Even these high-level recovery potions are barely helping. Still, I had time to master those holy light and mountain breaker moves. I can feel my power level through the roof. It is finally time to see if all that grinding paid off. Jun Su grabbed his phone and called up Cho Seal to see if there were any open jobs available. We are dealing with some real issues, Cho sighed. You remember that first dump site? Of course. How could I ever forget that place? Jun Su felt a chill. That was the first time I saw just how scary a monster soul attribute could really be. The whole cleanup crew got ripped apart. That means at least 6 mutants are prowling around in there. For real? Should you call the Protection Association? Well, the government wants us to keep this whole thing quiet. They do not want a scandal, right? Some people would definitely lose their jobs if this got out. So, what is the bounty for this mess? It is a bit cheap. 100 million for level 1 and 300 million for level 3. Plus, they are offering a rare rifle relic with a special effect. Jun Su was sold on that reward instantly. A rare rifle? What does it do? That is for you to find out. The Patriarch of the Order used it. He pictured that saint and grinned. Now that is an offer I definitely cannot turn down. A rifle from the Patriarch adds a black flame effect to every shot. That is an incredibly rare and valuable item. Without a second thought, Jun Su took the job. When he arrived, the thick, toxic air almost knocked him over. This place has only been sitting for a few days and it is already nasty. Something feels off. I can barely see 2 feet in front of me. Visibility is 0. I have to be ready for an ambush. Suddenly, monster screams came from every direction, making it totally impossible to pinpoint where they were coming from. Jun Su was lining up his shot, rifle ready. Suddenly, he felt something behind him. He whipped around and blasted the beast mid-air. It screeched in agony and bolted toward the clouds. That's the Alpha. Kim kept unloading his clips, but the monster's wings were totally bulletproof. Out of nowhere, it dove straight at him. Luckily, Kim dodged the strike, or he would have been toast right then. This thing is bulletproof, fast, and airborne. If this fight goes on too long, I am seriously screwed. I need one perfect shot to end this mess. Kim leveled his rifle, waiting for the beast to swoop back in for the kill. He squeezed the trigger, landing a bullet right between its eyes, sending it straight to hell and unlocking a new skill. I thought I was golden, especially with that new high-level aiming buff. But the party ended early when more roars echoed through the air. Man, what a total drag. These mutants are swarming the noise. I can't take the whole pack at once. Thinking fast, Kim came up with a nasty little surprise for them. Step 1. Use the stealth skill to vanish into a corner and wait. Right on time, the monsters crowded around their dead buddy. That was the green light he was waiting for. Kim chucked a grenade and started spraying lead. Honestly, I really should use more strategy in these fights. Kim smirked at the pile of dead monsters before finally turning off his stealth mode. Talk about overconfident. He realized too late that a whole new group of beasts had him surrounded. What the hell? These things didn't make a sound. I didn't even hear them creeping up on me. Wait, these aren't mutants. They're ghosts from some dark mage. Damn, there's way too many of them. While Kim tried to find an exit, one of the monsters actually spoke. Yo, Mr. Superhuman, we need to talk. Since when do zombies talk? Kim was totally stunned until he saw the tiny speakers strapped to their ugly heads. The guy on the other end must be the mage who summoned this horde, Kim figured. Then, the speaker on the zombie crackled back to life. I have a question for you. Why are you trespassing on our land? Your land. Kim was baffled they called this dump their territory. After a second, it all clicked for Kim. Okay, I get it now. Publicly, the Protection Association is just a charity cleaning up magic spills. In reality, they are the most notorious villain organization in all of Arnsoon. Scrubbing magic zones is just a front for whatever dirty work they need to grow their power. They're likely behind this mess, too. They manufacture disasters, so the government is forced to beg them for help, using their massive influence. Plus, they use these chaotic events as an excuse to fire any officials who oppose them. Suddenly, the voice spoke up again. Look, if we don't have to keep fighting, let me suggest something. You've got real talent. Why not join the association? Kim just sneered. Join the crew that staged mutant attacks at the dump? I'm dead serious. With your skills, you'd be a high-ranking member of this association. No way. Kim flatly refused, throwing up a friendly middle finger. Just the name of your group tells me it's not my vibe. It's totally lame. Huh? Guess you don't know your place. If you won't join us alive, you'll do it as one of my undead warriors. The second the mage finished speaking, the zombie horde charged in. Kim opened fire, mowing the monsters down like overgrown grass. But very quickly, things changed. The monsters' severed limbs began stitching themselves back together, returning to their original nasty forms. Realizing his guns weren't doing squat, Kim decided to whip out his sword. The holy light attribute is deadly against these dark types. Wait, a sword? You're not just a gunslinger? The monster didn't even finish its sentence before Kim sliced it down. Shut up, you little punk. I am going to find you and end this right now. After that, thanks to his insane stats, the fight got a whole lot easier for Kim. The only issue was the massive swarm. To keep from gassing out, Kim decided to switch up his tactics. Along with stats like strength, vitality, speed, protection, and endurance to keep him going, Kim also had that special recovery buff from his necklace artifact, plus the steel gauntlet trait and the holy sword skill, bringing his total count of usable traits all the way from 6 to 9. Once everything was equipped, Kim gave his sword a test swing. It helped a bit, but nowhere near enough for this insane monster mob. Before long, Kim Junu was straight up dizzy from exhaustion. Suddenly, he unlocks a fresh trait. Dash. Blast forward a set distance, wrecking everything in the way. With this ability, Kim Junu was a blur, deleting every monster in his lane. But the grind did not stop there. Kim Junu keeps messing with combo traits and finally unlocks another one. Jump. Dash and jump make this escape a total joke. These low-level mobs, I will wipe them in a flash. A second later, Kim Junu has the whole mob cleared. A voice crackles over the speaker again. Well, color me surprised. Never guessed you would be a knight. That just makes me want you even more. Kim Junu glares at the speaker and barks back. Big talk, huh? Why do not you show your face then? What kind of mage is stupid enough to face a tank head-on? Here is a gift for you. The caster laughs and drops a massive present. Level 2 Zombie Shield Bearer. Karen's undead puppet. Great, my health has not even regenerated yet. Kim Junu curses under his breath. The monster slams its shovel down right on his head without a second to waste. Kim Junu dodges back fast. While he is busy, a stray arrow flies out and stabs him right in the back. Haha, your moves are not half bad. You will make a killer addition to my undead army. The summoner brags over the speaker. This reminds me of a classic gamer rule. When fighting a summoner, do not just waste time on minions. You gotta find the boss himself. Keeping that in mind, Kim Junu fakes a charge but actually slides right between the monster's legs. He scans the area and spots a figure up on the second floor. Kim Junu dashes to ditch the monster and close the gap on the summoner. This little rat is nothing but a total nuisance. Kim Junu curses. Up close, Kim Junu realizes it is Karen, a top-tier ranked summoner. He is the Protection Guild leader and this stage's final boss. So, you actually know how to use your head, huh? Karen is shocked to be found, but he shakes it off fast. Things are not going like you planned. You will never touch me. Karen raises his hands and suddenly, mana tentacles reach out and restrain Kim Junu. This leaves a wide opening for arrows to rip through Kim Junu's body. He screams in agony. I love the sound of screaming. Know your place, buddy, Karen chirps excitedly. A glowing red orb forms in his palms. It is Karen's ultimate skill. Black flame, Kim Junu thinks, struggling to break free. Watching Kim Junu's pathetic struggle, Karen's grin widens as he starts taunting. Is that all you got? Cute for a boss fight. You are dead wrong if you think that. I have not even gotten serious. Know what happens when I equip traits meant to counter a summoner like you? Something interesting. As he speaks, Kim Junu swaps his trait board to include the Void Sword Break skill. Enough talk. Just die. Karen roars, firing a fireball at Kim Junu, totally clueless that his end is near. When the trinity of sword skills, magic, and raw strength hit perfect harmony, a skill appears when you face death. The ultimate sword key, capable of cutting through literally anything. With one single slash, Kim Junu cleaves the massive fireball in two. Karen is totally floored as Kim Junu unlocks a new trait. Violent Lightning, the ultimate sword technique. Only masters at the peak of the sword can understand this. After the fatal blow, Kim Junu collapses to the floor, totally spent. Even though he is exhausted, he cannot hide his grin as he whispers, that was way too close. Still, I took down a level 3 superhuman dungeon boss like Karen. In the game, you need a full party for this guy. Even at level 3, no one solos him with basic gear. The only reason I won is because I have got over 10,000 hours in this game. Catching his breath, Kim Junu stands up and laughs. Time for loot. An hour later, he is in Joyle's office. Along with Joyle, 3 people from the Quest Commission are there to hand over his reward. Now, Joyle is totally fawning over Kim Junu, fanning him. You really cleared out those mutants? You are incredible. Kim Junu leans back smugly with his feet on the table and laughs. It was nothing. Suddenly, he remembers the others in the room and drops his feet, clutching his arm and yelling, "Ouch, I am hurt. Watch out," Joyle says with a worried look. Oh man, I am so sorry for hurting your precious little body. The 3 Quest Commission suits were totally over this trash tier acting. The blonde guy finally snapped. Look, thanks for the hard work, superhuman. I cannot believe you actually wiped out all those mutants. Switching to business, Kim Junu and Joyle sat up straight. Whatever, I was just doing my job. But listen, the junkyard had some weird stuff that was not in the contract. You recognize these things? Kim Junu pulled out some tech he scavenged from the junkyard zombies. The blonde guy's eyes went wide. He knew exactly what they were and looked totally freaked out. He yelled, "Those are mana chips used for making phantoms. Karen from the Protection Guild uses these." Kim Junu nodded. Exactly. This was no accident. It was a setup. The guy slammed his desk in a rage, yelling, "The Protection Guild. Those freaking snakes." Kim Junu smirked. Not a fan, I take it? The blonde guy just ground his teeth in pure frustration. They charge crazy high prices. They have been screwing us over for a long time. We fought before, but I never guessed they would turn innocent people into disgusting mutants. Looking at his face, Kim Junu realized the guy was clueless. Figures. The Protection Guild does not show their true, ugly side until after a player finishes the junkyard quest. The blonde guy bowed to Jun Su. My bad, superhuman. We dragged you into some serious danger. Kim Junu played it cool. No worries, just taking out the trash. Inside, he was hyped. Finally, the payday. He better give me more than just a sorry. The blonde guy slid a suitcase over. Here is the reward we promised you. Jun Su opened it up and blinked. Thanks, but why are there 2 cases here? The blonde guy grinned. Standard fee plus a bonus for surviving that death trap. Kim Junu did not hesitate to take it. Oh, sweet, he said, checking the bonus. This is holy river water. Free vital elixir instead of buying it at some temple. Nice. While Jun Su was celebrating his loot, the guy spoke again. Watch your back, superhuman. We are filing charges against the Protection Guild using your evidence. Kim Junu cut him off, knowing what was coming. They are going to hunt me down, right? The blonde guy nodded. Yeah, but we cannot just let them get away with this. Kim Junu just shrugged. Whatever. I always find a way to stay alive. The meeting ended and the 3 suits left. Joyle, the driver, started the car and spoke up. Superhuman, maybe stay low for a bit. That guild is going to be looking for blood. Jun Su thought about it. Nah, that is a bad move. He knew how the game worked. Finishing the junkyard triggers a chain quest that forces a showdown with the Protection Guild. It makes sense since the player already wrecked their plans and killed their director, Karen. The association quest line has tons of branches, and the worst thing you can do is sit around and wait. If you stall, the president will just raid your house with a whole squad of superhumans. Meanwhile, Jun Su, the guy playing on easy mode, looked at Cho. Director, you know a place called Bong? Cho nodded. The restricted zone south of Superlim? It is a massive poppy farm. You go there, you are in deep trouble. Kim Junu smirked. The Protection Association owns that whole place. Cho gasped. What? Why would they be growing poppies? Kim Junu added. It is not just drugs. They do human trafficking too. They are just a bunch of thugs with a fancy name. Cho was fuming. Seriously? Those absolute psychos. Kim Junu stayed calm. Exactly. That is why I am hitting John Yu Bong first. Hearing that, Cho's hand started shaking so bad he almost drove the car right into the curb. He grabbed the wheel just in time and got back in the lane. Kim Junu showed his phone. I need gear. Here is my shopping list. Cho looked and groaned. Claymore mines? You starting a war or something? Besides, this much equipment is going to cost a crazy amount of money. Kim Junu just laughed. Only losers worry about cash. He handed Cho a box. Sold some monster loot for this. Cho snatched it up quickly and said, this covers the bill, but listen, you cannot take on the association solo. Their president is a level 4 superhuman, and every director is at least level 3. Kim Junu just smirked. I never said I was doing this alone. Cho looked completely shocked. Kim Jun Su flashed a cryptic grin and told him, for now, do not worry. Just get me everything on that list. 2 nights later, near the John Yubong base, a couple of armed guards were keeping watch in the shadows. Out of nowhere, an invisible hand chopped the back of one guard's neck. He grunted once before hitting the dirt. The other guard panicked, raised his rifle, and screamed, who is out there? A second later, a sharp pain hit his gut before he blacked out and hit the pavement. Kim Jun Su materialized with a silenced pistol and a smirk. Man, I love a good break-in. This never gets old, what a rush. Outer perimeter is clear. Now, let us see what they are hiding underground. Kim Junu pulled out his phone to give Kim Chuan a call. Somewhere else, Kim Chuan was dropping a guy with one hand while answering his phone with the other. I am here, warrior. Since you cleared the path, taking the basement was easy. He glanced at the prisoners held there and kept talking. These guys are absolute trash, forcing body mods on people and trafficking them. They crossed the line. Kim Junu agreed. Yeah, they deserve to be erased. Did you verify the place? It is a massive modification workshop. Kim Jun Su nodded. Once we are done, the place is yours. It will help level up your crew, Kim Chuan replied. Sounds great, but are you sure about the association? Getting dragged into the fallout would be a total nightmare. Kim Jun Su just laughed. Obviously, I am sure. Have you ever known me to act without a solid plan? He hung up and whispered, this base is their main cash cow, but the security here is honestly a total joke. He flicked a lighter open and gave a dark laugh. This is the perfect spot to start the association's complete and total downfall. Next morning, inside a city skyscraper, an association member burst into the room, gasping for breath. Chairman, we have a crisis. The John Yubong base is under attack. Chairman Park D.B. stood by the glass window, staring at the skyline. He scowled and turned his gaze toward the nervous messenger. What happened? The messenger stammered. The guy who hit Director Karen is back. He seized the John Yubong base too. The messenger stopped, his jaw dropping in pure terror. Park D.B. slammed his fist down, shattering his stone desk. His eyes flared with rage as he roared. How dare he attack us so openly? The messenger trembled and pulled out a cell phone. He handed it over with shaking fingers. He sent this too. The chairman snatched the device and looked. Seeing a selfie of Kim Junu posing in front of a massive sea of fire, the chairman crushed the phone and screamed. That punk burned our farm. Warrior Kim, I am going to hunt him down and rip him apart. At dawn, heavily armed tactical teams closed in on the Jan Yubong base from every single direction. These association thugs were sent to wipe out Kim Junu and reclaim their base. One team paused a few hundred meters away to scout. Their bald leader saw thick black smoke pouring from the building and gritted his teeth in pure rage. He actually burned the whole poppy farm. His subordinate with the dyed hair agreed. That warrior Kim is totally nuts. The bald leader turned to his men and yelled, we just need to catch that psycho. Move in and secure the area right now. Let us show the chairman what our department can do. The men all roared back, "Roger that." While advancing, the bald man warned his flashy subordinate, "Watch out, he might be sniping at us from inside that building. Stay alert." The dyed hair guy replied, "Copy that. We will smoke him the moment we see him." He had barely finished speaking when he spotted a gun barrel poking through a cracked window up ahead. He pointed and screamed, "Wait, there is a gun in that window." The bald leader reacted instantly, firing a shot that blew the glass completely apart. The rifle clattered onto the ground outside. The leader smirked, just like I thought. His subordinate grinned and kissed up. "That was sick, Captain." Suddenly, the earth started shaking, making the men stumble. They all cried out, "What the hell?" Baldy looks back, suspicious, as a massive blast rips through the crowd, turning everything into a total war zone. Bodies flew everywhere in an instant. Baldy let out a terrified scream. Crap, that was a claymore mine. Rainbow Hair was losing it, shaking like a leaf. He stammered out, "What's the plan, Captain? What do we do?" Before the boss could even answer, a soldier screamed about a rocket launcher. Baldy looked up just in time to see a missile screaming through the air, headed straight for his dome. Baldy's eyes went wide as he whispered, "Oh, hell no." Then, with a massive roar, a giant pillar of fire and debris blasted into the sky. Inside the bunker, Kim Junu, baggy eyes and all, cackled at the monitor. That all-nighter spent rigging the whole place with high explosives? Totally worth every single second of sleep he lost. He checked his status window and smirked at his stealth stats. With my unique buffs, those clowns never stood a chance. They probably didn't even realize the ground was literal dynamite. I'm not some suicidal idiot who tries to fight 100 guys solo. I'll just pick you all off from the safety of this bunker. As he finished gloating, Kim Junu slammed his hands down on two massive red buttons, triggering the rest of the surprise party. Explosions rocked the entire base like an earthquake, vaporizing every living thing caught within the massive blast zone. Only one squad was left standing, completely untouched. They were chilling inside a glowing shield, led by the one and only DJ Job. Once the dust settled, DJ Job looked pretty annoyed. Guess looks really are deceiving. This kid actually knows his stuff. Typical for a guy with the guts to pick a fight with us. Suddenly, a guy stepped up from the back. "Let me handle this, sir. I've already figured out his whole defensive strategy and trap patterns." This was Kyobox, a level 3 superhuman and the vice chair of the legendary Protection Association. DJ Job trusted Kyobox completely. He gave him the green light with a sinister grin. "Bring him back in one piece. I want to hear him scream before I end him." Kyobox nodded and led his team in, having his scouts toss grenades forward to clear the path ahead of them. Once the smoke cleared, the scout shouted that they were good. Kyobox grunted, "Good. Keep those grenades flying to sniff out more traps. Move slow." The scout yelled back, "You got it, boss." Suddenly, Kyobox caught sight of another rocket diving toward them. He didn't even bother to flinch. He just swatted the missile away with his weapon like it was a fly, watching it explode harmlessly in the distance. He turned to his sniper and asked if he had a lock. The sniper nodded. Yeah, the shot came from the right side of the main roof. The shooter took aim and pulled the trigger, perfectly sniping the automated missile launcher Kim Junu had hidden on top of the building. Kyobox smirked. "Perfect. We're right outside the main shelter now. Let's show this rat what a real nightmare looks like." Kyobox's elite crew didn't waste any time and breached the entrance of the underground bunker in seconds. Kim Junu watched the feed on his monitors. "Man, that Kyobox guy is a beast. Totally ruthless, isn't he?" While he was deep in thought, a red alarm light on his desk started flashing. He stood up with a smirk. "They're faster than I expected. That rookie Starkiller rank isn't just for show after all." Seconds later, the door lock was blasted to pieces. "Why you hiding like a little rat? Come out and play with us, you coward." Laughing, two girls with heavy firepower kicked the door down. These were Ebony and VIP Tier 3 superhumans and top directors from the Protection Association's Assassin Squad. When they saw the room was totally empty, VIP and Ebony looked confused. What? Wait, did he bail already? What they didn't realize was that Kim Junu had used his shadow step and played dead traits to go ghost. He was literally standing right next to them the whole time. Of course, he knew their plan was to distract him with a frontal assault while their best assassins snuck in back. As the directors moved in, Kim Junu laughed to himself. "I'm 3 steps ahead of you. Now, have a taste of this gift." He yanked the pin on a flashbang and dropped it at their feet. The noise made Ebony and VIP turn, only to have their retinas burned by a blinding white light. Taking his shot, Kim Junu bolted out the door while laughing. "Sorry, ladies, I'm kind of in a hurry. Catch you later." Ebony and VIP realized they'd been played, but they were still blind and screaming at the walls. You little piece of trash. When I find you, I'm gonna rip your heart out. Kim Junu didn't even blink. He sprinted up the stairwell. Those assassins won't be blind for long. I've got to move it now. Just as he hit the next landing, 2 bullets whizzed past his ears. That was way too close. The rounds missed his skull by an inch, punching holes through the concrete. Crap, they're already on me. I need to get my shields up right now. Kim Junu quickly activated his mana shield and protection buffs. He spun around and created a shield large enough to block the entire hallway, stopping Ebony and VIP cold. They both opened fire on the massive barrier, but their bullets just couldn't get through. Seeing this, Jun Su stuck his tongue out at them like a total brat. Go ahead, shoot all you want. I can block anything. VIP didn't even look angry. She just smirked and leveled her gun at him again. Block our bullets? You really think it's that easy? With that, VIP pulled the trigger. This shot shattered the shield and caught the fleeing Kim Junu right in the back. He hit the floor screaming in pain. VIP just smirked. How do you like that? That was an explosive magic round. Kim Junu scrambled to get up, swearing through the pain. Damn it. Ebony stepped up and added, "Here is dessert." She let fly a green arrow that sank deep into his hip. Ebony laughed and spoke to him again. This is a tickle compared to the pain I'm about to make you feel. Kim Junu dragged himself up, flipped them both off, and spat, bullshit. You're just 2 losers in tight suits. VIP absolutely lost it, screaming, "What did you just say, you little brat? I'm going to teach you some manners." She charged in and booted him square in the face. He flew back into a massive clock and crumpled to the floor, barely able to move. A fresh wave of agony hit Kim Junu, dropping him to his knees again. Hurts, right? That's a nasty poison attacking your arteries as we speak. Pretty tough to handle, isn't it? The 2 girls closed in on him like vultures. VIP snatched him by the collar, laughing in his face. Let's haul him to the chairman. Suddenly, Kim Junu flashed a bloody grin. He grabbed her wrist and whispered, "Welcome. You've reached your final destination." Inside, he breathed a sigh of relief. This acting gig is way harder than I thought. Ebony and VIP froze, confused by his weird behavior. What? Kim Junu asked with a grin. Hear that ticking sound? Doesn't it ring a bell? Ebony and VIP shouted back, annoyed. What the hell are you talking about? Kim Junu gave a lethal smile and said, "Sounds an awful lot like a giant time bomb, doesn't it?" Before they could react, he equipped the swift dash trait on his board. All right, you guys can rot here. Then, in a flash, he vanished. He was dozens of meters away in an instant. Ebony and VIP were powerhouses. I wasn't sure I could take them both in a fair fight. I dropped all my traits just to sell the act, baiting them toward the clock while they felt safe. Because inside that clock, I'd stuffed a fortune in white phosphorus explosives. That move cost me over 1 billion. Kim Jun Su looked back at the girls, thumbed the detonator in his hand, and smirked. Sweet dreams, darlings. Only then did Ebony and VIP realize they'd walked right into another one of his traps. But it was way too late. All they could do was scream as the massive explosion swallowed them whole. Looks like I finally took those 2 out. But more are on the way. I need to heal up fast, especially since I have no idea when that cyborg freak will show. Before Kim Junu could even finish his thought, the cyborg and his lackey appeared out of nowhere. Seeing his friend's blood splattered all over the ground, the cyborg ground his teeth. You actually took down Ebony and VIP. Kim Junu wasn't even sweating. He just winked and smiled at him. Yeah, and in a few minutes, you'll be joining them. Don't expect an easy out. I'm going to make you beg for death. Man, so vicious. Try to be a little more humane next time. Enough talk. You're dead. The cyborg signaled his goons, and they all leveled their guns at Kim Jun Su instantly. But honestly, I'm glad you guys showed up. This is actually better than I could have hoped for. Replacing your bodies with all that machinery was exactly what I wanted. So, thanks for that. You idiots are just here to boost my experience points. With that, he triggered a 1 billion gold demolition mine on the ceiling and opened fire with his shotgun. When the dust finally settled, every single enemy was wiped out, except for the cyborg leader. Kim Jun Su acted surprised. Tough bastard, aren't you? How much cash did you sink into that metal body? Even that mine didn't work. Guess I have no choice. I'll just have to tear you apart myself. The cyborg lunged forward, slashing the shotgun right out of Kim Junu's hands with his weaponized arm before swinging again. Luckily, Kim Jun Su whipped out his sword just in time to block. Otherwise, he would have been toast. The cyborg kept up his relentless assault, forcing Kim Junu to just stay alive. Damn it, he's too strong. I need speed to get the edge. Jun Su suddenly sidestepped and slashed hard at the cyborg's metal flank. The blow didn't even leave a scratch. Instead, it gave the cyborg a chance to grab the blade and pull him in close. He fired up his leg boosters and launched a kick that sent Kim Junu flying. This is bad. His whole body is shielded with reinforced mana. Blades are useless here. Without giving him a second to breathe, the cyborg leaped in, kicked him in the gut, and stomped on his chest. He stood over the broken boy and started to taunt him. What did you expect with that weak, fleshy body? I am taking your arm first just to show you what real pain feels like. Kyobox geared up to strike, but then he saw it. Jun Su was holding a pistol. Where did that gun come from? Looking at your nasty body gave me a great idea. Jun Su smirked, looking totally unbothered by the threat. Haven't you figured out that normal bullets do not work on me? Too bad this is black fire, not lead. As soon as that black fire hit, Kyobox turned into a human torch. The pain had him squealing like a stuck pig. Your robot body runs on mana, and black fire eats that for breakfast. Once it catches you, there is no way to put it out. Like I said, pimping your body out with machinery has some serious fatal flaws you should have seen coming. Kim Junu stood tall, grabbed his sword, and ended Cybobox with one clean and final strike. Job done. Jun Su tossed his gun over his shoulder, hit the roof, and started blasting the Protection Association grunts. Without those directors here, you guys are cooked. The sound of your screaming is honestly music to my ears. Right as he was gloating, a massive roar shattered the air. My eardrums. A battle cry. Looks like the big boss is here. Right then, down on the street, this tall and dark figure stepped out of the shadows. With those glowing red eyes, Kim knew instantly. It was Park Dizop, a level 4 superhuman and chairman of the entire association. Just you wait, you bastard. Dizop crouched and launched himself from the sidewalk straight to the 5th floor roof where Kim was standing. Nobody has ever played me like this before. I am going to love making you pay for messing with the Protection Association. Dizop pumped mana into his arm and charged. He moved so fast that Kim couldn't even draw his sword before taking the full punch. If I hadn't swapped to defense, I'd be a goner. But playing it safe won't win this fight. Kim let a lightning bolt fly, but the guy just tilted his body and dodged it effortlessly. He sneered, saying your skills are pretty interesting. How about this then? Kim whipped out his gun and fired black flames, but Dizop just blocked it with a shield. Then he went on the attack, hitting Kim with a crazy flurry of punches. He is way too strong. Honestly, this was a losing battle from the start. Park Dizop was born as an SR-rank character. I am just a starter character and he is levels above me. The power gap is totally insane. The only way a level 2 superhuman beats a level 4 is if I activate my mutant body and muscle traits to become a mutant warrior. I'm basically turning into a monster. Knowing he might lose his mind in this form, Kim had a backup plan ready. These madman glasses give the wearer a rage trait for a limited amount of time. Kim crushed the glasses in his palm, and a notification window popped up right in front of him. Rage trait acquired. My mind is totally clear now, focused only on the fight ahead of me. My power is hitting levels beyond the limit. With everything ready, Kim charged forward to give Dizop one of his own brutal punches. Dizop threw up both arms and managed to block Jun Su's heavy strike. I have no idea what you just did, but this is finally starting to get interesting. Let's see what you've got, Dizop said. He popped an enhancement trait and went into a full-blown brawl. They traded heavy hits blow for blow. This actually let Kim pick up 2 brand new traits by accident, superhuman strength and iron armor. The rush of the battle was starting to take over his whole mind. I can do this all day, Kim snapped. Dizop laughed. Okay, I will give you that. It has been a while, but I am done analyzing you. This is my win. Dizop's eyes flashed red as he spoke. Kim yelled, "Stop talking trash to me." Kim threw a furious punch at Dizop, but he only ended up hitting the thin air. Kim kept swinging like a madman, but Dizop read every move and dodged. Your punches and kicks are totally useless. You have zero foundation in actual combat. Dizop landed a solid punch to Kim's stomach, making him cough up a huge mouthful of blood. You jerk. Kim swung his fist with pure rage. Watching you fight is like watching a clumsy amateur who does not know a thing about combat. Dizop ducked under the swing and landed a precise uppercut that sent Kim flying back 10 meters. This is bad. He is winning, and my rage trait is starting to wear off. I am in trouble. I have no choice left. I have to go all in on the next move. Close combat is not working. Decision made. Kim secretly swapped his iron armor trait for that new mana trait. Sensing the energy shift around Kim, Dizop looked suspicious. What kind of dirty trick are you planning now? This ends now. He lunged at Jun Su, ready to swing. I will give it to you, you have got me beat when it comes to close quarters fighting. But here is the thing. I am no martial artist. I am a swordsman. Jun Su grabbed Dizop by the wrist and did not let go. Right then, his hand turned into a blade and punched a massive hole straight through Dizop's gut. Not a bad fight, you freak, Dizop wheezed before hitting the dirt for good. Warning. Abnormal status detected. Physical changes are in progress. A flood of golden light wrapped around Jun Su, shifting him back into a human. Right then, he leveled up, becoming a high-rank superhuman Kim-class warrior. Thank God. Hit that level just in time. Talk about luck, Jun Su mumbled before passing out cold. He woke up soaking in a mana bath. Am I back home? While he was looking around all dazed, Chi Seo walked in. Superhuman, are you all right? Choi Seo ran over and hugged him, totally losing it. What gives, Director Choi? I thought you were a goner back there. You were face down with those Protection Guild guys. Choi just sniffled. The guy was acting like a total kid, making Jun Su laugh. So, you brought me back? I saw you were still breathing, so I dumped you in the mana spring. You have been out for a week. Now that you mention it, I do feel better. You are a beast for soloing that entire heretic guild. The Bureau has been blowing up my phone over this, Choi said. Tell me something I do not know. I am special. Special? You are a straight-up badass, Choi said, flashing 2 thumbs up in respect. Jun Su could not help but grin from ear to ear. I grabbed all the loot from the fight. Check it out and let me know if you need anything else. I need to heal up first. But now that I am level 3, I have got a place to be. 1 week later, Jun Su headed back to the tower to get his mana levels measured. Warrior Kim, 22 years old, male class, level 3 warrior with a 6-layer circuit. Now I can grab my official certification and those sweet perks. While Jun Su was daydreaming, someone started clapping behind him. That is wild. You are that superhuman guy, right? Bake Soy was impressed. I have never seen someone level up that fast. Are you planning on starting your own country or something? Jun Su laughed and scratched his head. Nah, nothing that crazy. So, can I get my official papers now? Right, definitely. Follow me, Bake Soy said with a huge smile on her face. A moment later, Bake Soy handed him his license and sighed. Honestly, I am so jealous of you. Jun Su was actually caught off guard by that. Me? Why? Tons of reasons. I just wish I could be half as strong as you are. Bake Soy looked totally bummed. Seeing her like this reminded him of her character in the game, which felt pretty weird to Jun Su. Then a thought hit him. Do you want to become a superhuman? Jun Su asked. Of course, who would not? Why not be my student? Bake Soy jumped. If you are down, I guarantee I can turn you into a superhuman. Just trust me. You have got massive potential. Miss Bake Soy, having no clue she would become an absolute beast in the future, was deeply touched and accepted his crazy offer right away. Smart move. And do not worry, you do not have to pay for classes. You can pay me back once you are a superhuman. Bake Soy looked a bit worried. That sounds cool, but I should tell you that I could not even awaken after taking specialized classes. It is not going to be that easy. Do not sweat a thing. Just trust me. Jun Su was not worried at all because he knew exactly how Bake Soy would eventually awaken. The Slaughter Star, a trait that signaled the rebirth of a killer aura that would soak the world in blood. This was the ultimate core trait of the legendary berserker, Bake Soy. But while it gives you tons of experience in battle, it comes with some nasty side effects. Her mind could snap, turning her into a psychopath or a crazed killer who only cares about fighting. Her awakening matched her trait perfectly. Thinking of that, Jun Su warned Bake Soy that she had to be mentally prepared. She smiled shyly. Do I need a lot of cash? I only make 20 million won a year. Jun Su smiled. No, you will need mental toughness way more than money. Right as she was about to ask more, a woman walked in. Excuse me, Mr. Kim. Someone wants to meet with you. Can we head up to the 5th floor? An invite from floor 5? Jun Su was surprised but followed her anyway. The superhuman tower is divided into floors based on your level. Being called to the 5th floor meant a level 5 superhuman had personally summoned him. While Jun Su was trying to guess who it was, the elevator reached the 5th floor. The person waiting was the last person he expected. Eugene. After his awakening, Eugene became the director of Security 1 and a level 5 superhuman. I had a hunch it was you. Congrats on hitting level 3 and getting certified, teacher. Good seeing you here, man. Jun Su laughed it off, but deep down he was totally jealous. Even for a rich genius, is level 5 moving way too fast? Anyway, I want you to have this. It is a little something to celebrate, Eugene said, handing a gift box over to Jun Su. You really shouldn't have, Jun Su said, already tearing the box open. It was a high mana concentration item. This is perfect for a mana-based warrior like me, Jun Su beamed, giving Eugene a solid pat on the back. Can't exactly say no to a friend, right? Thanks. Put it to good use, Eugene said with a grin. Then he got all hesitant. Look, teacher, there is actually another reason I wanted to see you. Can I ask a favor? Why the serious face? You want me to help your friends? Are they stuck with that divine fever too? Yeah, the order of the Father's will got them too. My 4 friends have been suffering since they were kids. Eugene told the truth. 4 people, all infected with that nasty divine fever. Wait, is he talking about those specific characters? If so, this is my big chance to make things easy. Jun Su played the hero and agreed to help. I cannot ignore people in need, but can I meet them first? Eugene did not hesitate and immediately set up a meeting for everyone at his house. Looking at the 4 people standing there, Jun Su knew his hunch was 100% right. These were the supporting cast for the Holy Night, Eugene. High society kids basically held hostage by the order of the Father's will. Let me get this straight. You guys were all forcibly baptized against your will, right? That is right. Can we really be cured? Jun Su replied. My treatment is going to be incredibly painful, but you will awaken just like Eugene. If you can handle the pain, are you in? They looked at each other and nodded. We will do whatever it takes to kill this fever. We are counting on you. 1 week later, thanks to Jun Su and their own natural talent, the group was ready. Eugene's 4 friends successfully awakened. Because of that, Jun Su scored a ton of expensive gifts from those rich families, but those fancy gifts were not the real reward he was actually looking for. Jun Su requested a private meeting with the head of Galaxy department store, who happened to be a parent of 1 kid. I have a favor to ask, the man replied. I will do anything for you. Jun Su looked deadly serious. I want access to the hidden gold mine underneath the Hanuman branch of the Galaxy department store. Hearing that, the Galaxy representative tried to deny the gold mine even existed. Nothing like that exists here, Jun Su said. I mean the one on basement floor 8, hidden behind the parking garage walls. You sure it is not there? The representative just waved his hands dismissively. I do not know how you found out, but even if it is you, I cannot let that happen. I promise I will not say a word about what I see. Seeing him hesitate, Jun Su added, just for 1 day. That is all I ask. Your secret is safe with me. The next day, Jun Su brought Baeksoy to the gold mine. I cannot believe there is actually a hidden room behind this wall, Baeksoy marveled. See? I told you this is where you would awaken. It took a lot of work to get us in here, Baeksoy asked nervously. Are we really training in a creepy place like this? Of course we are. Trust me, it will be fun. Jun Su smiled. People with the Heavenly Slaughter Star cannot awaken normally. You have to put them in an extreme situation where they are literally fighting for their lives. This unknown dungeon is exactly where Baeksoy is fated to awaken. Teacher, it is so dark in here, and it smells weird too. It is making me nervous. Suddenly, a loud scream echoed through the dark. A zombie lunged out, swinging at Baeksoy and shattering her glasses. Help me, she screamed. Baeksoy was terrified, but Kim Jun-soo just tossed her a sword. Time to practice, he said. Wait, what? Kill the zombie yourself, Kim Jun-soo said coldly. Baeksoy looked at him, horrified. What do you mean? I mean fight for your life. It is the only way to awaken. What kind of crazy talk is that? Before Baeksoy could finish, the zombie rushed her again. Get lost, monster, she yelled. Fed up, Baek swung her blade and sent that zombie straight to hell. Even Kim was stunned. Like, what the hell? How did a random swing pack that much heat? Huh? Maybe she has way more talent than I thought. Nice move. Strong start, right? Kim clapped. Baek snapped back, pouting. You are such a jerk. You cannot just make me fight with zero warning. But you crushed it, did you not? Kim chuckled, pointing at the zombie face down on the ground. Exactly what I would expect from one of the game's top 3 warrior characters. Even before awakening, she fights like that because her Slayer trait is kicking in, Kim thought. So do I really have to fight alone? Yeah, but do not sweat it. At the very least, I will not let you die, Kim promised. Huh? That is not convincing at all, Baek retorted, totally unimpressed. So, they pushed deeper into the mine. Baek's insane performance made Kim curious. You mentioned taking some superpower classes before, right? Did you learn the sword there? Nope, never had one lesson. You are the one who said I was talented, remember? Baek answered with a grin. Kim forced a smile, thinking to himself. And I went through absolute hell just to get one trait. This is totally broken. The two of them kept moving forward. This place is deeper than I thought. I cannot see the end. How much farther do we have to go? Kim did not answer, just smiled to himself. The truth is, it will not end until you awaken. Suddenly, a zombie with a drill for an arm lunged at Beck. Luckily, she reacted fast, but it was close. She barely dodged that lethal hit. Drill zombies were tough back in the game. Maybe I should help. As it turned out, Kim's concern was completely pointless. Zombies are supposed to fight barehanded. How dare you use a weapon? Beck yelled, then finished it with 2 swings. Whoa, a total victory. It is like my body moved on its own. Beck turned to tell Kim, but she let her guard down and the zombie bit her. She killed the zombie, then asked nervously, "What am I supposed to do now?" Kim ran to check her wound. "Well, usually when you get bit, you turn into one. Please kill me before I turn." Beck whimpered as dark green veins started popping out on her face and arm. Seeing her like that, Kim looked serious, then pulled a vial from his pocket and broke into a huge grin. "Do not worry, I have a solution ready to go." After she was treated, Beck and Kim sat down for a break. "That was a huge shock," Bayek said gratefully. "I really thought I was about to turn into one of those gross things." "This world is so brutal," Kim replied with a smile, "but the zombies here are a little weird. From their outfits to their gear, it feels like this place is artificial." "You are right. The Galaxy Store was built way faster than normal considering how huge it is. It took a massive crew, but the insane schedule led to many injuries and deaths, and yet the official death toll for the project was 0. Shady construction companies buried them right here. Later on, the head of the Galaxy Store found out, but to protect their public image, he sealed off this area to hide the secret, Kim explained. "I cannot believe this place has such a dark secret," Bayek said, "but how do you know all this?" "Because the temple unleashed zombies to conquer Seoul, and the dungeon that opened was this restricted area. That was the truth." Of course, Kim could not say that, so he dodged the question. "Let us just say I have special abilities." Baek seemed to trust him completely and did not push. Kim stared intently at Baek, thinking, "This is where she is supposed to awaken after a zombie attack. I figured this was the perfect spot, but no signs yet. Those poor victims, they are still suffering even after they died," Baek said. She stood up, face filled with determination. "In that case, the least we can do is help them finally rest in peace." "Oh," Kim said, "it looks like you found your motivation." "That, and I have this strange feeling I am supposed to keep fighting," Baek replied honestly. "Haha, it is starting," Kim thought gleefully, then urged her to move on. As they walked, the path grew pitch black. Whoa, it is suddenly freezing cold. This place is super creepy. Stay sharp. After walking a little further, they came to a warehouse. A children's story was playing from inside, but the narration was bone-chillingly creepy. Suddenly, the radio filled with static, letting out a deafening screech that made both Kim and Beck cover their ears tightly. An icicle-like object dropped from the ceiling right over Baek's head. Luckily, Kim was on high alert. He snatched Beck's soy and shoved her clear, taking the hit himself. It was the fused ghost from the Galaxy Store restricted zone, a grade 3 mutant freak. A grade 3 mutant. Jun Su gripped his bloody arm and barked at Baek Soy. "Get moving. You need to bail. You are not ready for this beast." Before another word escaped, 1,000 jagged icicles launched straight for their heads. Jun Su swung his blade and shattered them. Then an ice beam blasted him into the wall. "Soldier!" Baek Soy screamed, ready to charge, but he held up a hand to stop her dead in her tracks. "Baek Soy, run, I will stall him." "No way, I am not leaving you behind like this," she cried out. "One of us has to survive this. It won't be me." "Baek Soy, I believe in you because you are the Heavenly Slayer star, a true legend. Trust your power. That is the only way you will awaken." More ice shards rained down as Jun Su added, "My job is done here. Wait, I have to trust myself? How do I even do that?" Suddenly, an invisible force pulverized the storm of ice into nothing but freezing dust. "I will trust in us both, soldier. So you better not dare die on me now." A divine golden light exploded around her body. She had just awakened as a level 1 SSR-rank superhuman warrior, absolute beast mode. With one clean slash, Baek Soy crushed the ice and saved Jun Su. "Check out this power. This feels absolutely insane right now. I actually did it. I awakened." She was so hyped she missed the ice pillar zooming toward her head. Before it could end her, a shadow blurred past and smashed the ice to splinters, saving her life once again. "Now that you have powered up, I can stop pretending," Jun Su said with a smirk. "Wait and act? To trigger a Slayer star, you need a life or death crisis and the guts to survive it. You risked your life just to force my awakening? You did great, kid. Now let's show this monster a real fight." The monster shrieked, launching a barrage of bone ice darts. Baek Soy watched the incoming projectiles and muttered a nervous, "Uh-oh, I think it is triggered now." "Relax," Jun Su whispered. "Just take the hits head on." He lunged forward, sword flashing as he batted the darts aside effortlessly. Jun Su looked back at Baek Soy with a cocky grin. "See? Easy money." But when he turned, he saw Baek Soy frozen in a solid block of ice. "Hey, are you okay?" "My bad. Even if she has awakened, she is still only level 1. She cannot control that massive power yet." Finally, the bone ice began to melt away. Baek Soy shivered, shaking the frost off. "A few spikes got me, but honestly, it does not even hurt." Jun Su nodded, feeling a wave of guilt. "Right, everyone gets a unique trait at birth, and hers is pure, unadulterated invincibility. Moments ago, she felt like death was knocking at her door. This skill fits her perfectly. It is a top-tier defensive trait. Jun Su had awakened multiple times, gaining the insight trait. It lets him scan the stats of anyone he sees. This skill is a total game changer. While he was spacing out, Baek Soy piped up, "I do not think I need backup anymore." He did not hesitate. "Fine by me. Let's see what our Heavenly Slayer can really do." The bone ice darts came screaming back in a total frenzy. This time, the duo didn't just stand there like target practice. They moved. They bolted. Baek Soy just unlocked the rush trait, so that those ice daggers could not even touch her anymore. Jun Su watched her, thinking, "Wow, she mastered rush that fast? Nice," she replied with a confident smirk. "I feel so light, like I'm literally flying. I could do this all day." But as she finished, her eyes went sharp and narrow. 2 massive ice boulders were flying their way. Jun Su dodged instantly, but then he remembered Baek Soy and screamed, "Get back! I will take these!" Before he could move, Baek Soy shut him down. "I got this." To his shock, she vaulted into the air. The ice block slammed into the ground behind her and exploded with a deafening roar. Jun Su was stunned. Sweet move! He never expected her to unlock the leap skill this early on. Baek Soy let out a breath, grinning. "Man, it really does feel like flying." She stretched her limbs, looking ready for war. "All right, soldier boy, what is the next move?" Watching her, Jun Su felt a spark of worry. She was going to eclipse him soon, just like the others. Snapping back to reality, Jun Su said, "Just keep it busy. I am ending this." He had taught her the ropes. Now time to finish the job. Baek Soy gave a quick nod. "Got it. Consider it done." She stepped forward. A heartbeat later, she bolted like a freak of nature, dodging every icy blade that monster threw while screaming, "Come on, hit me, you loser!" Watching from the sidelines, Kim Junu just muttered under his breath. Baek Seol already has all those traits. It's wild. Her raw talent is just ridiculous. He could only let out a totally defeated laugh at how insane she was. All right, guess she learned enough. Time to wrap this up. He gripped his sword and charged straight into the fray. A jagged blade of pure light carrying massive power ripped through the air. The strike was insanely fast, slamming into the monster before it could even blink. A massive explosion rocked the entire room, filling the whole basement with thick smoke and searing fire. Seeing the total carnage, Baek Seol couldn't help but shout, "Soldier boy, that move was seriously overpowered." Kim Junu just shook his head and laughed. It was whatever. While they were chatting, something dropped right out of thin air. It looked exactly like a smartphone. Kim Junu walked over and grabbed it, frowning. This is actually the monster's mana core. Baek Seol looked totally stunned. A phone? As a mana core? Junu explained that for ghost-type monsters, this is actually normal. It's standard stuff. Just as he said it, a picture of a little girl popped up on the phone screen. Junu stared at the image for a second. A worker died here, giving his life just to save his little girl. His spirit haunted this phone, turning it into a mana core. Hearing that tragic story, Baek Seol felt a lump in her throat. "I hope he finds some peace now," Junu nodded. "He will." Suddenly, the phone started to glow with a weird light. Some invisible force lifted it into the air, and in a flash, it shifted into 2 really strange-looking objects. Baek Seol stared at them, totally lost. "What are those?" Junu broke it down for her. "Those are called crystals. Use these right, and you can score some top-tier gear. It's a huge reward from that Galaxy Store dungeon boss." Right then, the ground started shaking like crazy, catching both of them completely off guard. Baek Seol panicked. "What's happening?" Junu realized the danger and yelled, "We killed the boss! The whole place is about to cave in!" Hearing the news, Baek Seol asked nervously, "Okay, so what is the plan?" Junu squinted at her. "Time to use those new movement skills you just learned, right?" She just stood there, totally dazed and confused. Junu didn't have a second to waste. He spun around and bolted, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Run! Unless you want to die, get moving." He was insanely fast, clearing a huge distance in a heartbeat. Noticing Bake Seal was falling behind, Junu barked back, "Go full throttle. If you're slow, you are absolutely toast." She was trying her absolute best. She scrambled forward, shouting back helplessly, "I'm already going as fast as I can." Junu frowned. The portal was still miles away. Could she actually push herself past her breaking point and survive? Suddenly, a massive rock crashed down, blocking her path. She panicked for a second, but then her eyes turned sharp with grit. Then, Bake Seal kicked it into high gear and charged. She'd worked way too hard to awaken just to fail now. No way was she dying here. Meanwhile, the floor right behind her was shattering into a million tiny pieces. Up ahead, Kim Junu finally spotted the portal. He screamed out, "Here, right through this gate." Bake Seal squinted. "Are we there already?" Junu saw how beat up she looked and couldn't help but feel worried. He couldn't step in, because she still needed one more trait. The reason she becomes a legend is because of those 3 traits. The Heavenly Slaughter Star trait lets Bake Seal level up at an incredibly fast speed, and the Invincibility trait negates all the side effects. Then there's the final one. Meanwhile, she was sprinting for her life. But the obstacles wouldn't stop. A chunk of rubble slammed into her shoulder, and fresh blood started soaking through her shirt. Bake Seal hit the dirt, gasping in pure agony. She bit her lip, grabbed her bleeding shoulder, and dragged herself up. "I'm not quitting. I'm getting out of here alive." Instantly, swirls of blood-red energy erupted around her, and she vanished. Her final trait finally woke up the locomotive trait. She tore through every obstacle like they weren't even there. Up ahead, Junu watched the whole thing in total shock. "Where is she? Did she not make it?" His face went pale. But then, Bake Seal's silhouette blasted through the air. She snatched Junu by the arm and screamed, "Let's go! Move it!" Junu was totally blindsided by her sudden grab. Before he could even process it, a shield of energy wrapped around them, and they both vanished into thin air. That narrow escape trait saved their skins. When they finally landed, they were back on a busy street surrounded by crowds. People were staring, totally confused, but Junu didn't give a damn. He just let out a massive sigh of relief. Knew you had it in you. She'd finally unlocked all 3 traits, plus narrow escape as a huge bonus. Just then, a shaky voice piped up. "Yo, soldier boy." Kim Junu jumped and looked down. Only then did he realize he was still holding Bekoi. He pulled back fast and asked, "You good? Can you stand?" She shook her head and whispered, "I am fine." But Junu knew she was totally lying. Her face was glowing red, like a freaking ripe tomato. She stuttered for a moment, then mumbled, "Listen, soldier boy, just stay like this for a bit." Bekoi hid her face in his chest and begged, "Hold me just a little longer, please." Kim Junu was straight up lost, but she kept whispering, Let me fix my clothes." She finished quick and said, "Okay, thanks." Junu finally got the vibe and rubbed his neck. "No sweat. You legit scared me there." They got up and she exhaled hard. "Man, that was too close. At least we survived." Junu just stared at her, feeling totally impressed. He was worried her power-up might go sideways compared to the original game's crazy plot. "Whatever, let's bounce," Junu said. He handed her a crystal and whispered, "Here, take this." She looked shocked and asked, "For real? This thing is worth billions." Junu just shrugged. "Yeah, use it to level up fast." She froze, staring at the loot. "It is too much. I cannot pay you back." Junu grinned and said, "Do not worry. Just pay me back later when you have the cash." He was plotting. He was playing the long game with her. That Blazing Star Sword style is easily one of the top 3. It makes your XP skyrocket, but only she can use it. The only way to steal it? A special memory chip. Bekoi had zero clue about his scheme and smiled brightly at him. "Don't sweat it," he waved off. "But hey, do not forget this favor." Later, Junu finally crashed at home, but a mysterious car was already waiting outside. "Seriously? I just wanted a 5-minute nap." This trash world never gives a guy a break. It was Ween. He leaned out the window and grinned. "Get in, soldier." Junu hopped in, acting cool. "Thanks for the ride, man." Ween shook his head. "Nah, I owe you for saving my best friend." Junu nodded, but inside he was dying. He was just so freaking tired. Ween was hyped. "We scored a meeting with the blacksmith." Junu had to go. In this game, gear equals power. Master blacksmiths who forge tier 3 gear are always slammed. And while Junu thought about that, Ween just kept on grinning. This guy can make tier 7 armor. Junu's eyes popped. "Tier 7? Yo, floor it. A second later, they hit a massive building. 2 lines of knights were waiting inside. Junu was stunned. Is this a prank? This place is insane. But Junu got suspicious. What church does this guy follow? Wayne looked confused. Why ask now? Junu sighed. You have no idea. Owen was clueless, just like the time they beefed with the Holy Order. This was the house of Jok Chun, a religious fanatic. He was basically the face of the Order's blacksmith guild. I skipped baptism, yet he is helping me? What is the catch here? Suddenly, a knight blocked them. Stop. We need to see your ID. Kim Junu frowned suspiciously. Identification? Before he could even blink, the knight snatched his hand and barked in a freezing tone, Show me that black flame of yours. Kim Junu was fuming. He ground his teeth, wanting to throw hands, but knowing he was totally stuck right now. Trapped. Kim Junu let the black fire flare up in his palm. He flashed it at the knight and snapped. Happy now? The knight stared hard at the dark fire, his cold vibe getting even more intense. Ewan, standing right there, finally snapped and started yelling at him to stop. What is your problem? Let him go. We are the guests who made an appointment. Back off right now. Suddenly, a loud voice cut through the air. A middle-aged guy in a wheelchair started rolling toward them. It was Ro-chun, a level 6 superhuman smith. He looked at them and asked coldly, Who said you could treat my top guest like garbage? The knight didn't say a word. He just immediately bowed his head to the man. Master Smith Ro-chun ignored him, squinting at Kim Junu. No baptism, yet you have the black flame. You are one weird kid, aren't you? Junu scoffed, mocking the guy. Oh, so this is your 5-star service? Ro-chun just smirked and said, My bad, forgive me. The high power recognizes light and salvation. Hearing that weird talk, Kim Junu was honestly a little thrown off. Light and salvation? What kind of crap is that? Before he could say anything, Roach threw out a deal. Anyway, let's head inside and talk about what kind of armor you want me to build you. Junu watched the guy walk away, thinking hard about what was going on, but he followed him in pretty quickly. Ro-chan started flexing his work. This armor is my bread and butter. It is the top choice for all those science types. But he said he could tweak it to fit Kim Junu's specific vibe instead. Junu scanned the room for a while, his eyes finally locking onto a weird set of gear sitting in the back. He walked over to it and said in a flat voice, Done. I am taking this one right here. He pointed at a plain-looking suit in the corner. Rokan looked shocked. Wait, for real? You want that? Kim Junu was cool about it. Yeah, I like this one. Ro-chan immediately started freaking out and complaining. Are you kidding? Do you know how hard it is to put magic into a basic suit like that? I cannot make holy gear like that. Junu just shrugged and smirked. I do not want some holy armor. Just give it the giant and extreme traits. By the look on Ro-chan's face, Junu could tell the guy could actually do it. Holy armor, basically the gear for paladins, usually gave the user some insane defensive stats and power boosts. But this stuff had one major catch. To use it, you needed massive divine power. To get that, Junu would have to join their cult. He wasn't having any of it. They were acting like they were doing him a favor, but they were really just trying to recruit him. So Junu rushed over, grabbed Ro-chan's hand, and put on his best fake suck-up smile for the man. I am expecting the best from you, Master Smith Roch. After that, he and Yuan dipped out of there in a hurry. They were laughing as they walked off, having no clue that the night was death staring them the whole time. A second later, he turned and went back in. Hearing his steps, Ro-chan started talking right away. I can only put a few traits into that armor. The knight asked suspiciously, Are you really helping that guy? Rokan just shook his head. What, you want me to ignore what the goddess wants? Seriously? You said that he is the light and salvation of our whole order. The knight still wasn't buying it. I just do not see it, no matter how much I think about it. He had to see it himself. He bowed his head slightly, his eyes looking like he was definitely planning something big. A week later, Chunbok was trying to talk Junu out of something. Kid, do not chug that whole mandra bottle at once. But Junu ignored him and slammed 3 vials of the stuff. Chunbok just watched in absolute horror as the kid finished. Junu just smiled and said, Thanks, Pops. Chunbok looked at him like he was a ghost. Are you alive? Junu just smirked. Totally fine. Best stuff I have ever had. Thanks for the freebies. Chunbok looked relieved and said, You saved the market, kid. Everyone is making bank now. Business is booming because of you. This stuff is nothing compared to what you did for us, seriously. Just then, a guy walked up, bowed to Junu, and said aggressively, Hey, superhuman. Junu was confused, then he finally remembered him. He smacked the guy's shoulder and laughed. Oh, wait. You are the Iron Fist guy, right? Long time no see. What is up? The young man leaned in and whispered, "Can we talk? Somewhere private, just for a second?" "The big boss wants a word," the guy said. Kim Junu asked suspiciously, "Is that all?" The man scanned the area for a long minute before leaning in. "Way too many snitches and rats around here. How about we find a private spot first?" Kim Junu did not hesitate for a second. "Sure thing, let us go." Just like that, Junu hopped into a ride and ditched the market. The driver was all smiles, chatting it up. "We hooked you up with a top-tier armored ride for your protection. You like it?" Junu barely even looked, just giving a bored nod. "Not bad." The car sped into the Morum district. Junu's eyebrows shot up because something was definitely fishy. Something felt wrong. The Iron Fist gang is usually based out of Mayorum, not here. Isn't this area basically the city's trash can? While Junu was overthinking, the driver suddenly chimed back in. "We are running on fumes. Gotta hit the gas station real quick." Junu just shrugged. "Fine, whatever." Then it hit him. They were stopping right at Mayori train station. The driver looked back with a nasty, jagged grin on his face. "All right, man, have a nice long nap." Before the words even landed, he bailed out of the car. Junu's face went dark, total trap, but he moved like lightning, grabbing the dude's arm before he could jump and vanish. He let out a nasty snort. "You little punk. Did you really think I was that big of an idiot? Who do you think you are messing with? Huh?" The guy just looked confused. "Wait, what? What are you saying?" Junu said nothing. He kicked the door open and dove straight out onto the hard pavement. He smirked. "Why don't you rot in here with all those bombs you prepped for the rest of your life?" Right then, Junu tossed a live grenade back inside. With a deafening boom, the entire vehicle was swallowed by a massive ball of fire. Junu had already bolted to clear the blast zone. "Safe for now," he raised an eyebrow and muttered. "That bang was way too huge for just one grenade. I knew it. That rat was a total traitor." Then Junu started connecting the dots. The pricey bulletproof car, heading to Mayorum, which was crawling with those low-life thugs. And now this train station setup. There was a reason this whole nightmare felt so familiar to him. It was exactly like the story where the Iron Fist got backstabbed by his own crew. Someone in the Iron Fist gang definitely had a target on his back. While he was thinking, a hail of lead suddenly whistled past from a distance. He looked over and spotted a whole squad of armed goons closing in fast. They were definitely after him. The leader was screaming at the top of his lungs. "He is over there. That is the guy from the picture. Take him out and we all get rich today. Let us get paid." Instantly, the mob went crazy and rushed toward him. Junu bit his lip. He knew this was coming. A car bomb was never going to be the only plan. Meanwhile, the hit squad just kept on firing their weapons relentlessly. Junu dove for cover behind a nearby car, cursing under his breath. "Damn it, there are just way too many of them. This ride won't hold up forever. I gotta move, and I gotta move fast." Thinking fast, Junu used his power to launch into the air, landing hard on a nearby rooftop. He gave a quick, satisfied nod to himself. They wouldn't see that coming. But they immediately pivoted their guns and unloaded on the building. Junu started to panic for real. He couldn't believe they tracked him. He quickly popped his barrier to block the storm of lead coming his way. Junu yelled in total shock. "These guys aren't even superhumans. How the hell are they tracking my moves so fast?" But the heat wasn't over. One of them barked, "Everyone, aim for the middle. Smoke this guy." Every single barrel lined up on the center of his shield and unleashed hell at once. The massive firepower made his barrier shake like crazy. Junu started sweating. "What is with this perfect aim? I have to fall back." This was getting way too dangerous. With that, Junu made a sudden leap backwards. At that exact moment, the shield cracked and a bullet grazed his arm. Junu finally realized something very important right then. He couldn't just walk over these guys like he thought. He didn't want to waste his brand new gear, but there was no other choice left. He reached into his jacket and chucked something heavy. "Eat this, you bottom feeders." A bunch of smoke bombs hit the deck right in front of them. Thick, nasty clouds filled the air instantly. The men started coughing and covering their faces. "It is tear gas. Do not let him get away. We need him alive to get the antidote." Junu just scoffed and smirked. "Who do you clowns think you are dealing with anyway? You are not even superhumans. Later, losers." Junu turned on his heels and vanished into the night. He booked it to a nearby neighborhood, only catching his breath once he felt like he had actually escaped. He landed on a rooftop, Kim Junu frowning while he mumbled something under his breath. How can some random thugs have the same focus and power as a superhuman? Then, it hit him. Only one thing makes sense: combat enhancers. They have nasty side effects, but they seriously juice up a fighter's skills. Jun Su figured that was it. He nodded, muttering about how they had mentioned an antidote earlier. That is definitely the key. And the only guy in Morum who could pull this off is that annoying hunter. He is the best long-range fighter in all of Morum. The hunter's playbook is simple. First, get an inside man to plant a bomb. Second, send in a mob of juiced-up thugs. And third, use those sniper skills to finish the job. Right on cue, Jun Su saw a flash of light in the distance. A split second later, a bullet tore through the air. Kim Junu stayed sharp and dodged just in time. The round whistled right past his head. He exhaled. If I was even a tiny bit slower, I would be nothing but a memory right now. Kim Junu smirked. That gamble was totally worth it, because now I know exactly where that camper is hiding. Kim Junu narrowed his eyes, calculating his next move from the ledge. Then, he just leaped off the roof. Kim Jun Su muttered, "I see you now, you son of a bitch." He took off running like a maniac. To take down a cowardly sniper who will not come close, Kim Junu had to get right in his face. He pushed his pace even harder. Even though his muscles felt like they were melting, he had to suck it up. Kim Junu had to stay moving so the hunter could not lock on, especially with all this smoke everywhere. As he ran, a stray bullet zipped toward him. He dodged it. He actually had a plan for this pro marksman. Kim Junu finally stopped and looked up with a smirk. "Found you." The hunter cursed, frustrated that he could not see Kim Junu. Meanwhile, Junu was feeling pretty good about his plan. He used the fire and smoke to stay hidden from the hunter's line of sight. No matter how much that guy squinted, he was not finding him. Kim Jun Su kept charging forward. Pretty soon, he was right on top of the hideout. The guy inside immediately started panicking and yelling. He jumped up, ignoring the hunter, and raised his gun. The hunter did not flinch, just let out a cold snort. "You are really trying to outshoot a pro?" Before he could fire, Kim Junu sparked his black flames and pulled the trigger. Both rifles roared at the exact same time. The hunter's bullet grazed Kim Jun Su's shoulder, and he gritted his teeth against the stinging pain. This guy is a legit sniper. To hit that shot in this chaos is impressive, but Junu was not sweating it. He smirked because the hunter had also taken a hit to the shoulder on the other side. But unlike Junu, the hunter was covered in black flames and screaming in pure agony. Even a graze from Kim Jun Su's bullets was a death sentence for that hunter. Kim Junu watched the hunter get swallowed by those black flames with a smug grin. "I win." But then the ground suddenly caved in, trapping both his legs. Kim Jun Su screamed in total horror, a magic trap. The hunter poured a potion over himself, snarling through the pain. "You brat, do not think for a second this is over." Kim Jun's face went pale. "This is bad. If I do not get out of this hole, I am toast." The hunter roared with rage, telling him to get ready for hellfire. Kim Junu struggled to break free. If he got caught in that explosion, he was done for. It was officially a race against the clock. Now Kim Jun Su had to slow the sinking by cutting down the incoming magic damage. It was a total Hail Mary, but he had to survive first and worry about the rest later. Kim Junu slammed his hands onto the ground, feeling the power inside him start to boil. He used his purification skill, hoping to wipe out as much of the trap's magic as he could. But before he could claw his way out of the quicksand, his eyes went wide with shock. The hunter had escaped the flames and was walking toward him. He sneered, "You are a little too late, kid." Kim Jun Su froze. He could not believe the hunter had actually managed to put out those black flames. The hunter brushed him off, hand shaking like crazy while he snatched some loot from the dirt. He gave him a cold stare. "Looks like I finally win. If I drop this dude, I am set for life. Time to die." But as soon as the hunter raised his piece to take the shot, the target just vanished. His face froze. Before he could even blink, Kim Junu rocked his jaw. Kim smirked and said, "Now that is what I call a legendary comeback." Total scumbag, Kim Junu thought. Man, thank God that actually worked. At the final buzzer, Kim Junu unlocked a fresh skill, Earth Resistance. Right then, he was straight up hyped. It totally saved his skin. Kim grabbed the guy by the collar and sneered, "You are just a marksman. Up close, you are basically trash. Start talking. Who put the hit on me?" The hunter looked up, shaking, and folded immediately. "I will spill everything. Just let me have one last cigarette." "Fine. Whatever you want, man." Kim Jun Su shrugged and let him go. The hunter immediately pulled out a smoke and sparked it up. Kim watched him closely, eyes narrowed and face like stone. The hunter just took a long, slow drag. Kim Jun Su frowned and asked, "You actually enjoy the taste of that garbage?" The hunter let out a creepy laugh, a nasty grin stretching across his face. "Oh, I do," he cackled, "because this tastes like victory." Seconds later, the hunter charged like a maniac. But before he could move, a massive bang rang out and blood splattered everywhere. The hunter stared blankly, his voice shaking as he mumbled, "You knew the entire time?" Kim smirked. "Obviously. Did you really think a player with 10,000 hours would not recognize a cigarette that turns you into a mutant? What the hell?" The hunter choked on his words before face planting into the dirt. Kim looked at the body and sighed. "Well, I did not expect that. This hunter was a total mess. He was literally ready to snitch and give up everything a second ago. Then he chooses to fight to the death. There must be a huge reason he was willing to turn into a monster." Kim paused for a bit, then crouched down to loot the body. No surprise he found a hidden USB drive. Kim smirked. "All right, let's find out who is actually running this show." The next day at the office, Cho and Kim were glued to the news. The media was blasting reports about some gang war in Moramum. Cho yelled in shock, "You survived that insanity?" Kim just gave a small nod. "And that is how I got dragged into that mess. It was sketchy." Hearing this, Cho started gritting his teeth. "So who exactly jumped you?" Kim let out a tired sigh. "It is a long story. I do not even know where to begin." Suddenly, the office door gets smashed open with a loud crash. Someone gets tossed onto the floor as another guy appears. Cho and Kim looked up. It was Iron Fist, who grunted out a quick apology for the mess. "I clearly failed to handle my own guy." Kim stayed in his chair and just gave a small, cool nod. "Glad you finally realized that." Cho, on the other hand, was losing his mind and started yelling in frustration. "Can you quit breaking my door every time you show up? Was it some loser from your Iron Fist guild?" Iron Fist explained that he was just a low-tier member, but after some digging, I managed to find some actually useful intel. Kim narrowed his eyes at the guy Iron Fist was dragging. "That is the same punk who jumped me. He seemed desperate for quick cash." Iron Fist sounded shocked. "How did you know?" "You nailed it. He is a gambling addict who wastes every bounty. Now he is drowning in massive debt." Kim nodded. "Makes sense. So his reason for turning traitor is obvious." Iron Fist apologized again. "No matter the reason, this is on me. I am truly sorry." Kim looked bored and replied coolly, "Apology accepted. Even for a big-time guild leader, keeping track of every single grunt cannot be easy." He thought, the Iron Fist Guild does not really know everything, do they? If I was not the mark, then Iron Fist would be the one they were hunting for revenge. He spoke up. "I will take the heat for this and find the mastermind." Kim raised an eyebrow and grinned. "Oh, about that. I already have the evidence." He held up the USB drive. "The killer had this on him. You know your way around a computer, right?" Cho nodded. "I will have you know I am actually certified in computer science." With that, he immediately sat down and started grinding on his computer. After a bit, Cho yelled, "Wow, this guy is huge. He has killed nearly 20 superhumans." Kim remained totally calm. "Forget that. Scope his latest contract." Cho nodded and did a quick check. This gig was locked in just 3 days ago, but when he saw the payout, he choked. 20 billion? Even Iron Fist and Jun Su were totally shook. Kim Junu snapped. "Who the hell has that kind of bread to throw around?" Cho glanced over. This hit order came straight from Ascendant Security. Jun Su scowled, whispering to himself, "Some big corporate suit, huh?" Cho flipped the monitor around. "It is this dude right here." Seeing the info, Kim Junu let out a shocked scream. "Oh, holy crap, it is that bastard." The same guy from that night. Kim Junu let out a heavy sigh. Things are getting messy. Cho looked at him, asking why that creep wants him dead. Kim Junu stayed silent. Instead, he made a quick request. "I have a hunch. Can you dig up the Ascendant Security family tree?" Cho nodded. "You got it. Give me a sec." Cho started digging and soon showed the results to Kim Jun Su. Kim Jun Su's face went dark immediately, just as he suspected. Now the whole picture was finally coming together. Ascendant Security is a private military outfit under the Ascendant Group, one of the top 5 major guilds around. And Jian is a Silver Spoon scion of that family. He was actually first in line to take over, but after the baptism ceremony requested by the Holy Father, Jian became a holy knight and got totally cut out of the family inheritance line. Now his only move left is to become a legendary holy knight, but the saintess labeled Kim Junu her savior. Kim Junu sighed. "That jerk must be so salty I passed the baptism and got all this clout that he put a hit on me." Hearing that, Cho shouted in a rage, "We have got to teach that punk a lesson." Iron Fist frowned, sounding hesitant. "But how? We are not just dealing with some low-level guild heir here. He belongs to the family running a top guild. One wrong move and they will crush us all." Cho knew the risks but still argued, "That does not mean we just sit here and take it." Then, Kim Junu spoke up. He is right. I have a plan. Cho's face lit up. I knew you would handle it. Kim Junu chuckled. Since we are fighting a big shot, let us level up first. A bit later, someone else showed up at the office. When Kim Junu told Owen about the hit, Owen lost it, slamming his fist onto the table. That crazy son of a... How dare he try to assassinate Warrior Kim? Seeing his intense reaction, Kim Junu tried to calm him down. Hey, relax. I am still breathing. Owen was the most reliable guy here, rich and a level 5 superhuman. Then Owen said with pure determination, I am not going to let this slide. They say a blood debt must be paid in blood. Let us hire an assassin and get revenge. Hearing this, Cho jumped in. I cannot even imagine the price tag. We would be targeting a son from Ascendant Security. Owen looked ready to speak, but Kim Junu cut him off. I have got a better idea. Owen shot him a look and asked, What is it, teacher? Kim Junu smirked. I am challenging Lion to a duel. The other three panicked, blurting out, A duel? But that is way too dangerous. Kim Junu just shook his head coolly. We are out of options. If I let this go, he will just hire a stronger assassin to finish me. They argued, he will just get a proxy to fight. This world has always been a messed up, unfair place. Kim Junu replied calmly, If I win, I get a real apology and a huge payout. The room went silent. After a long pause, Iron Fist mumbled hesitant thoughts. Sounds like the best shot we have right now. Kim Junu nodded, holding up his USB. With this proof, I have enough grounds to legally challenge him. If we let him use a proxy but limit it to family, he will bite. His logic was actually pretty solid. Cho volunteered immediately. Fine, I will send the official duel letter. We are going to need a lawyer to represent us, too. After hesitating a bit, Owen spoke up. Leave it to me. My parents know a lawyer who was a Supreme Court judge. Seeing everyone helping out, Jun Su grinned. Thanks, you guys. The three of them just stared intently, not saying a word. Jun Su sighed. Why are you all looking at me like that? I am not walking into a suicide mission. Iron Fist asked. Are you really that confident you will actually win? The enemy knows your strength. He is definitely going to hire a level 4 fighter or even someone higher. This will not be easy, Jun Su replied without a single moment's hesitation. He said that knowing full well he couldn't use his mutation in the duel, making this even tougher than facing that chairman. But it was not a total lost cause. Kim Junu said confidently, I have a good idea who he will pick to fight. Iron Fist's jaw dropped. Wait, you actually know who we're dealing with? Junu asked with a cocky grin. Yeah, which is exactly why I need prep time. Unen, down for a spar? Yuan didn't miss a beat. Count me in, teacher. I'm going all out. Yuan's energy was through the roof, so Junu hit him with a warning. Thanks, kid, but take it easy on me, okay? Or you might actually end up dead this time. No jokes. 3 days later at the arena, Junu's crew was already loud in the stands. Wen and Joy were basically screaming their heads off. We're with you, teacher. Go get him, Fighter Kim. We know you're the best. But honestly, Junu looked like trash. He was wiped out. Dude had been training like a literal psycho for 72 hours, but at least he was finally ready to scrap with his rival. Right then, a pack of people started flexing their way toward the group from across the yard. Junu clocked the guy out front. It was Dwitch, the big boss commander of the Bishop's Holy Knights. Dwitch flashed a tiny, smug smirk. Man, it feels like it's been ages since I actually had a real duel. Jean was trailing behind him and tried to act helpful. Commander, you didn't have to come. Dwitch just snapped. Shut it. Did I say you could talk? As long as I'm running this show, no knight on my squad is taking an L. Jian shut his mouth real quick. Watching him crumble, Junu couldn't help but make a face. Jian acts so tough when it's just me, but around his boss, he's like a turtle in a shell. Total loser. While Junu was zoning out, Dwitch called out to him. Fighter Kim, glad to finally meet you. Junu gave a basic nod. Yo. But then Dwitch did something weird. He bowed deep and got all formal. Look, I need to apologize for this whole mess. Junu was floored. He thought, wait, what? Is this guy seriously saying sorry right now? For real? Before he could wrap his head around it, Dwitch kept going. This was just one guy's mistake. It's not on the Saints. Junu narrowed his eyes, suspicious as hell. So, what's the official word from the Bishop's Guild on this? Dwitch went quiet for a second, then leaned in and whispered. The Saint says you're our light and savior. Junu was stunned all over again. Light and savior? What is this guy on? He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Jo Chun used those exact same words. What the hell does that even mean? Dwitch didn't care about his confusion and kept talking. Anyway, here's the deal. If I win this thing, you're officially joining our squad. No excuses. Say what? Join your squad? Junu lost it and started shouting, "Are you guys like obsessed with me or something?" While he was freaking out, Jian was nearby, grinding his teeth in a total silent rage, but there was nothing he could do. Dwitch spoke again. "This is the will of our master and Saint Tess." Before Junu could fire back, Owen's lawyer showed up. He sounded bored. Time for the duel. Both sides are present. Let's confirm the vow. If the Holy Knight wins, Kim Junu packs his bags for the Bishop's Guild. And if Junu wins, Jian can't touch him ever again and has to cough up a huge stack of cash. The lawyer looked at both of them to confirm. "We good?" Junu and Jian both shouted yes at the same time. The second they said it, a blast of magical energy surged right through Kim Junu's chest. In this world, a dual vow is no joke. If you break it, your heart literally explodes. Jian knew that too. Nobody is dumb enough to break an oath like that in such a lawless world. The lawyer then began confirming the official rules. Standard international regulations apply. Let's go. All gear and skills are fair game, but any potions must be crafted right here on site. Junu's fans in the stands looked really stressed. The other knights were just standing around waiting. Dwitch was getting hyped, shadowboxing. "All right, let's do this. I'm ready." Junu just smirked. "Wait up, I gotta cook my items first." Dwitch's hype died instantly, but he just nodded along. "Fine, you get 10 minutes per item." It didn't take Junu long to whip up 3 glowing potions. Dude keeps swapping attributes. He's basically a full-blown alchemist at this point. These were the miracle drugs he needed to crush a holy knight. The lawyer read them off. The diamond body potion, the speed potion, and dragon magic. "Is that the lineup?" Junu nodded. "Yeah, I am using all of them." Doping is part of the game, so he slammed all 3 potions back in one go. Now they were ready. The duel was on. A timer popped up on the big screen, and Junu and Dwitch both stepped into the pit. Dwitch locked eyes with Junu. "Fighter Kim, honestly, it's gonna be an honor having you in our guild. Why not just give up now and join us the easy way?" Junu just scoffed. "In your dreams. Piss off." Seeing he wasn't playing ball, Dwitch's voice went ice cold. "Fine, have it your way. Don't stress too much though." He promised not to kill Kim Jun Su, mostly because he still needed him for the guild. Then, boom. A massive wave of magic power just exploded from him. Kim Junu's face dropped. Man, that is some seriously heavy magic power right there. This guy was on a whole nother level. No matter the prep, Junu knew winning meant putting his life on the line. Total deathmatch vibes. In a heartbeat, the countdown hit 1 second. Finally, the clock hit 0. Dwitch let out a massive roar as his power spiked even higher. Suddenly, he just vanished. The ground where he stood caved in, forming a massive crater. Junu froze, staring at the empty space. Where'd he go? Then it clicked. Dwitch had just fired off his flash step ability. Sure enough, in a blink, Dwitch was right in Jun Su's face, screaming like a total psycho. "Fighter Kim, you are going to be a god." Jun Su just stood there brainstalling. What? Become a god? Before he could even process that, Dwitch's hammer slammed down, sending fire and smoke everywhere. Yuan's crew in the stands freaked out. What the hell? That guy is a straight-up monster. Is it really over already? One hit? But as the smoke cleared, Baek Soy saw something wild. She suddenly screamed, pointing at the ring. Kim Jun Su was still standing there, totally fine. The second that hammer hit, he had popped a shield to block it. Junu narrowed his eyes and spoke coolly. Become a god? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Dwitch didn't even say a word. He just stood there with a smug little grin. Jun Su was right on the money. The guy had used his rush ability right out of the gate. It was a high-tier move for surprise attacks, but since Jun Su saw it coming, there was no way he was getting hit. Still, that last strike actually cracked through his triple-layered shield. Dwitch just laughed. "Now I see why the saints like you," Junu scoffed. "Cut the crap and start talking. First I'm the light, then a savior, and now I'm a god? What's with the titles?" With a creepy smile, Dwitch just acted all casual. "It is exactly what you heard. You are the hope of our legion, the one who saves us from the apocalypse." Jun Su's face twisted as he listened. The hope of the Father's legion? Wait, come to think of it, the god they serve is already dead. In a few years, the cult performs a ritual for their god, and a massive boss battle erupts right in the middle of Seoul. Suddenly, Junu realized the truth. Don't tell me this savior thing is just a vessel for your dead god. Bingo. Dwitch let out a dark laugh. It is a noble sacrifice, a sacred offering. That sent Jun Su into a total rage. You crazy sons of guns. So the plan was just to sacrifice me? Dwitch did not give a single damn. He laughed like a maniac. Your body and soul will merge with the Father, his literal incarnation, because you are losing this fight and joining our team. Junu scoffed, then charged forward in a blind rage. Dwitch couldn't be careless. He threw up his shield, but the force still pushed him back several steps. His brow started to twitch. This power is insane. Seeing him sweat, Jun Su smirked. What? You scared now? You definitely should be. I reallocated all my stats for a pure offensive warrior build. Then, Jun Su lunged forward like a bolt of lightning. Now he was going to hit Dwitch with warrior stats that would make him tremble. But Dwitch didn't even panic. He just blocked with his shield, a faint smile on his lips. Not bad. Your sword skills are actually decent. Jun Su didn't say a word, just planned his next move. Good. While he is defending, I can swap my attributes. Jun Su pulled out another weapon and struck. It slammed right into Dwitch's arm, but the guy didn't even flinch. He actually started praising him. Now this is getting fun, right? Jun Su bit his lip hard. It is working. Those 3 days of intense training were not a waste of time. Training with Yujin wasn't just about getting the right stats for this fight. It was about learning how to switch them in an instant. I fought a higher-level superhuman to learn this. I had to learn how to use defensive attributes for blocking and flip to offensive attributes when it is time to attack. All I have to do now is mix in other warrior attributes whenever it is necessary. So, in that moment, Jun Su was frantically hammering Dwitch, forcing the guy into a total defensive stance. With a roar and bloodshot eyes, Jun Su charged like a psycho, activating his berserker attribute the second he saw an opening. For a level 3 superhuman to take on a level 4, you just have to switch attributes on the fly. Under this relentless barrage, Dwitch couldn't even land a single counter. All he could do was hold on for dear life. Seconds later, Ditch's hammer went flying across the room. Jian's face went pale. Dudich just stood there like a deer in headlights, totally shocked. It was like taking on 4 fighters at once. How is this even possible? Ignoring the guy's confusion, he spoke with ice in his veins. I am winning this fight because I am not becoming some sacrifice for your trash, corrupt legion. Dick bit his lip, knuckles turning white. He let out a scoff. Fine, I'll stop playing around with you. I do not care if you are a sacrifice. I'm just gonna end you. He finished talking and immediately charged with his weapon. Then he chucked his weapon straight at Jun Su. Being smart, Junu threw up a shield fast to block the hit. He grit his teeth. A direct hit like that is useless. But suddenly, Jun Su's shield cracked and he went flying back. Jun Su bit his lip, swearing under his breath. Great, Ditch just powered up big time. Was this jerk really sandbagging the whole time? Ditch roared. How dare you talk smack about our legion? Then charged again. Caught completely off guard, Junu got knocked back once more, slamming into the wall before hitting the ground. Dudek glared at him. Say you are sorry and I will let you surrender. Nope. Jun Su shut that down without even thinking about it. He pushed himself up and looked him in the eye. If you cannot kill me, forget about winning. Then Jun Su lunged forward. His energy was insane as he started swinging like a total maniac. Dudich had to stay sharp to survive. He blocked frantically and landed a punch on Jun Su's shoulder. Both of them were just swinging wildly at each other now. Shock waves ripped through the air with every hit. Both fighters were taking some serious damage. Finally, they both got blown back, creating some breathing room. Dudich was leaking blood from a dozen cuts all over his body. But Jun Su looked like he just crawled out of a car wreck. He was beat up bad. Right then, Ditch yelled, "It is time to finish this stupid, pointless fight." A huge shield appeared in his hand. He raised it and screamed, "Oh, father!" Suddenly, a massive wall of water exploded outward. Dudich was swallowed by the giant wave. Jun Su looked on, horrified. That is his ultimate finishing move, the Dark Tsunami. Seeing it up close is a nightmare. If I take a hit from that, it is game over. But there is nowhere to hide. To win this, I have to figure out how to smash through it.